Ladies and gentlemen, today's story is a hilarious tale about exorcism that will leave you in stitches. Uncle N's condition worsens rapidly like an angry cat. Father Mark realizes only Bay can help the girl's sister, and Mayakin holds last night's surveillance footage to solve the mystery. He impatiently waved him off, while Mayakin thought to himself, today's not your usual run-of-the-mill day, this is a Father Mark kind of day. Bay warned against mentioning Father Mark. As the door closed, he appeared like a ghost, waiting silently for supernatural inspiration. He lamented that it had been a decade since they last met, while Bay stood there looking exactly the same as 10 years ago, no growth at all. He hoped Bay would rescue the girl's sister, like some sort of superhero. But Bay's attitude remained as hard as a rock. Despite the priest's moving plea, Bay remained firm, with a mental line not to cross. He refused to have anything more to do with Father Mark. The memories were like a dormant volcano within him, always ready to erupt. The demonic incident 10 years ago was the darkest hour of his life, making him break into a cold sweat every time he thought of it, especially when it came. They once viewed Joseph as the gentlest of souls, only for him to turn into an angel of death. Talk about a plot twist. He personally delivered those innocent kids and nuns to the demon Lucifer, all thanks to Father Mark's laissez-faire attitude. The priest's regret poured out like a flood, praying to God for forgiveness and peace. But Bay's mind was consumed with one burning question: were the dead kids also part of God's plan? The silence had lasted long enough. The priest finally lowered his head, like a sad little bird, pleading with Bay to save the innocent girl. Sharon's help let him see his son's body. Late thanks aside, at least it ended. Grateful for finding a soul's haven for the child, Sharon felt a hint of regret. He was a responsible big guy. 7 years ago, Bay saved Sharon and Majin from the demon. Without him, they would have been 6 feet under by now. Now, what's there to fear? Sharon suggested helping the doctor, and after a moment's hesitation, Mayojin finally agreed. The video showed that Uncle N had been through days of psychological trauma, all stemming from his mother's death due to cancer 5 years ago. Now that's a plot twist. After moving to that remote country villa, things didn't get any better. Salman prepared lots of designs to cheer him up. Living in a fully enclosed environment worsened his mental state, while the surveillance footage turned Uncle N's antics into an unbelievable one night. He noticed his sister was missing and searched frantically. The surveillance footage showed the house was packed with people spooky. Just when he was about to call for help, he saw Uncle N standing by the wall, looking blank like a guy who lost his keys. Uncle N was banging his forehead against the wall, putting on quite the bizarre performance. No matter how much the doctor called him, there was no reaction. Moments later, Uncle N turned his head holding a knife, as if waiting for a storm to brew. He suddenly stabbed himself in the cheek, a shocking scene that made the doctors urgently call for an ambulance. Neither medication nor psychological interventions could help. His symptoms were skyrocketing like a roller coaster ride. Everyone believed he was being devoured by some invisible force, straight out of a horror movie. He played another surveillance video of security installing equipment. It looked normal, but something mysterious lingered in the air. Father Mark started telling the doctor about Joseph's story, as if narrating an ancient legend. Joseph was Bay's buddy from the orphanage. They grew up together, and Bay was born to be a muscle hunk. Joseph was a rare prodigy with exorcism abilities, capable of directly banishing demons, making him the envy of many. But his special ability led to rejection. Only Bay protected him like a guardian angel. Their brotherly love was off the charts. As adults, Joseph became a real exorcist, while Bay thrived in the underworld, living it up. Every Christmas, Bay would return to visit everyone, but the Christmas night 15 years ago brought everything crashing. During a ritual, Joseph summoned the demon Lucifer, turning that night into a bloody feast where all the nuns and kids met their doom. Joseph vanished without a trace, while Bay miraculously survived, carrying endless guilt and hatred like a heavy backpack. Times on Christmas Eve, however, Bay dialed the phone number, calling Joseph over for assistance, and could only send out a plea for help from the other end of the line. The special exorcism was about to commence, and this time, the driving force was Sharon, the seasoned pro with years of experience in dealing with demons. They had grown accustomed to teetering on the edge of death, facing demons like it was just a hot bowl of soup, totally unafraid. They were well prepared for the mission, but Bay still warned them the situation was just as dire as a flashing red light. Once the exorcism started, Uncle N's possessed entity and those lurking believers would show up out of nowhere, creating utter chaos. This was no laughing matter. They stated had be responsible for their safety. It was a real-life game of life and death. Uncle N's sister firmly insisted that she'd risk anything to save her sister's life. What a true hero. According to the official briefing, Uncle N was indeed possessed by some demon, If there were good news, this would his strange behavior wasn't due to mental illness but a controlled state, almost like being taken over by aliens. Investigation shows someone used Uncle N as a medium to revive a powerful demon, a shocking conspiracy. These lurking demon worshippers blended in like ordinary folks, making their true identities hard to spot. They left behind marks once discovered, spreading wickedness while being totally obedient to the demons like a plot straight out of a horror novel. Some members were trained as guardians, executing missions like a special forces team, all under the command of those regional bishops. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have more thrills and laughs coming your way.